Tell me about the mindset, the morning routine, and things that you do to be the best you.
Hope this doesn't offend anyone, including you. You know, I chuckle when I hear about ice baths and journaling and red lights. Maybe all of that's beneficial, maybe it's not. I don't know if it works for you. That's awesome. But at 22, my ass got out of bed. As soon as my eyes opened, my hair was on fire. I was out the door and I just started executing. That was my routine.
Welcome to the Joe Pavich Podcast. This show is all about what got people where they are today. Work-life mix, struggles, the grind, the process, and the message. Welcome to the Joe Show. Thank you for watching and listening to the Joe Pavich Podcast. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Above and Beyond Painting and First Source Title. You can find my episodes on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and the joepavichpodcast.com. Today I'd like to introduce my guest, Derik Fay. Derik is a venture capitalist, philanthropist, investor with an amazing story. From a rough childhood that's fueled his fire in business and life. Derik is an icon, really, with 1.4 million followers on Instagram, over 300,000 followers on YouTube, and an amazing guy. So great to have you, man. What's happening?
Thank you. What an intro. I'm not sure I deserve all of it, but I will certainly take it.
Yeah, man.
Good to finally connect.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you live a driver 3 wood from my house.
That's right.
And
that's right. Probably a 1 wood for me. But.
Yeah. Or a couple skull shots. Who knows? But looking pretty sharp today, man.
Thank you.
Polished.
You too, my friend.
Polished. I see the little timepiece on there today.
Because you're exposing everything. The intro was great. I prefer part-time entrepreneur, full-time smartass.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's more accurate.
I love it. Well, it's all about having fun in what you do, right? You got to laugh at your mistakes, have fun. We're not all perfect, and we're just here to just be people. You know?
I agree. I always chuckle when someone says, "God, how did you gain all of this knowledge? How did you get so smart?" And I say, well, it's because I was really dumb for a long period of time. Like what presents itself today as intelligence came from a long line of mistakes.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens too. And you know, it's funny because if we can't laugh at what we've done and the things we've done and stuff, it's all being a human being. You know, I think ego plays a big role in people today. Nobody can laugh at themselves anymore, you know?
I agree. I try to lead with self-deprecation. I think it's a superpower.
Yeah.
So a lot to laugh at. But I agree 100%. Yeah.
I used to work at Bird Eyes in the mall. This is a long time ago.
Here locally?
Yeah, okay. Edison Mall.
I was going to say Edison Mall. Yeah.
Which was 3/4 of the way to downtown Fort Myers.
Yes.
That was my hangouts back in the day.
Me too, I have to admit. Yeah, I was here. I moved here in 2002, so I remember when it used to be what it was.
Was the B Club open then? I don't think it was.
I don't think so, no.
Indigo Room 1527.
You know, that was there.
The
Indigo
pizza
Room
place.
1520,
I know you've been to the pizza place
D-Hop
downtown.
Always, tried to buy it. He will not sell it.
Really?
Oh, God, no. It's Prince money.
Oh, man. But, you know, going there for a big old slice of pizza after a long night.
2:30 in the morning.
So, you know, my father, when I worked at Bird Eyes, he would say to me today, he says, you know, you're the same guy that you were when you worked at Bird Eyes. And I thought, that's a pretty good compliment because you really want to be the same old guy that you were, you know, in the past, right?
I agree. I think that's probably the greatest compliment a man can get at our age.
Yeah.
At any age, but certainly at our age, success tends to, in some people, breed an arrogance that is just not warranted.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And it's amazing. It's so common. People change over time. And success is an interesting thing. You know, it's like you got to just be who you are, man.
We all search for it, but very few of us are ready, including myself.
Yeah.
I sit here as a 46-year-old at times, you know, preaching these qualities that I didn't possess in my 20s. And so it's not something that you're gonna find immediately, but it should be something you endeavor towards, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 2002. So did you you didn't go to high school here? So you graduated in what, 98?
97.
97, yeah.
97. Yep. South Kingston High School. So I grew up in the smallest town in the smallest state in the country. Didn't realize it at the time until I came to Florida and looked back and thought, oh, there were tractors and cows. That makes sense why I didn't necessarily fit in.
Yeah.
But great place to be from. It's my favorite expression.
That's right.
But yeah, so I moved here in 2002, graduated there in 97. Went to college for a resounding 60 days. Figured out very quickly it wasn't for me. And just went, head forward into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You went to school and realized, hey, my mind is not here. It's there. So let's go there.
Yeah. I think it's important to realize who you are. I think that's such a global statement, but it's so unbelievably true. And I have a problem with authority. Less now than in my 20s, but that's a lie. It's still true today as it was when I was 18 or 20. I couldn't work for somebody else. And so there really weren't a lot of options for me. It was going to be complete failure or success.
Yeah.
And, it was in question there a couple times throughout the ride, but I persevered and here we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes it's hard, especially when you have the entrepreneur mindset, to be able to sort of take that direction when you want to go your own. So that's what you did.
That's right. Yep. And God bless my father. He was a mailman his whole life. My grandfather was a mailman his whole life. And so great hard workers. Some of my work ethic certainly came from both of them.
Yeah.
And I come from a true working class family, so nothing but respect for it. I forgot where I was going with that. Circle back. I forgot where I was going with that.
Do you ever miss, though, the old school small town feel with no development?
I like a fast pace.
Yeah.
And so it's endearing. In a bubble, I think it's a beautiful environment, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. I love fast pace. I love Vegas. I love Miami. I love action. I love deals. I like to be in the thick of things. I love to be around people. I talk to everybody I meet. And I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And really, in retrospect, I attribute a lot of my success to that desire to be around things, whatever it was. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew that if I just kept moving and doing, I would end up somewhere meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like the cars and the honking horns and the lights.
They'll lullaby me right to sleep.
Inspire you. That's
does.
a Jay-Z song, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, I got it.
That's what inspire you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I've been to Miami at least a couple hundred times. And every single time, even just maybe it was a month ago, as I'm driving into Miami, you start to see the city, I feel inspired. So for me, that's just what really gets me going.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keeps pushing you, right?
That's it.
So I grew up in this town here when there was not a lot. So when we moved to Estero, we moved from Chicago. So I was, I liked the city. Mm-hmm. We used to skateboard as kids. Mm-hmm. Bikes, skateboards, played baseball and stuff. Sure. But we would take the buses to the city and we would skate downtown Chicago. And that was our thing to do as kids until my parents found out that I'm taking 4 buses and trams to get into downtown. Right. And then they said, that's it. Yeah. You're not doing that anymore. But when I moved here, there wasn't much here.
There wasn't much here when I moved here in 2002. And you moved here when?
In 89.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much.
There really wasn't. Yeah.
So I kind of miss the old school feel, but I'm an old school guy. What can I tell you? I mean, I still got Run DMC in my
don't get me wrong. I love old school music. I love old school sentiment. I believe that an old school man is what a man should still be, but that's where our roads separate is after that.
That's right. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the business. And today, Derik, I've heard a lot of your shows and stuff, sure. and I feel like I know Derik without knowing Derik, and now we get a chance to.
That's right. Now you're going to really meet me after the mic's off.
So we're going to hopefully develop a good friendship here, and I know that we will. But I want to touch a little bit on the business. But I also want to talk today about things that we haven't talked about in other shows.
Love that.
Life, kids, mindset, work life, just because I'm 50.
Important stuff.
Yeah, important things, right? Because I'm 50, I got 3 kids.
Yep.
46, you got two girls, right?
Yep, 2 girls, 18 and 16.
So you struggle in a different way like I do in that it's that whole thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could start there. I mean, with my oldest turning 18, I've thought in depth recently about my relationship with my daughter. My daughters are my best friends. I've raised them, I think, differently than some parents, probably not differently than you, but I looked at 18, what most parents say, including my own, which is, congratulations, you're 18, you're an adult, go. And even leading up to it, I didn't think about it a lot, but I think that was almost like the thought process, because you hear everybody, what are they going to do? Are they going to get their full-time job? Are they going to go to college? You're done. Yeah. And I disagree adamantly. I feel like this is the second part of my parenting responsibilities. It's different, but I don't want my daughter to go. I want her to fly and be successful and enjoy life and experience life. But I still want to be that dad that supports and helps her win and helps her grow and has meaningful conversations. And there's still not any pressure on her. Someone just yesterday said, when are you going to make your daughter ...
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to make my daughter do anything ever. And that's such a common sentiment with parents. And I just so emphatically disagree with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know, we're a tight family.
Yep.
My son is 15. And it's tough because you think about these things. It's like he's 15. He's got a girlfriend now. Which,
of course.
Derik, things are changing around the house.
You're a boy and a girl. It's different. I don't have a son, so it's different.
My son.
It's different with a boy than a girl,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. So it's my son. He's cool. He's responsible. We instill.
Sure.
You know.
Yep.
Italian family.
Sure.
We drive it.
Yep.
You know, even if they're not
listening. I like
listening.
the word instill over impose.
Yeah. We get it. We get the message through, right? That's what it's all about.
I'm listening between the lines.
So it's a lot of fun. But one of the best things I've heard, and compliment to you, because I watch your videos and stuff,
sure.
and especially when I started knowing you're coming on the show,
sure.
and then I started watching even more. One of the greatest stories that I've seen, and I got to tell you, out there who has not seen the Harmon Killebrew story that you put on,
the speech,
deep,
yeah,
deep.
We're not raising
story,
grass,
man.
we're raising
I got
voices.
the chill. I actually got the chills.
It's so true, too.
It really is, because it hits home. And, you know, if you're a parent that loves your kids, you know, a lot of times and the Harmon Killebrew story is really, it's based on we're raising kids, not grass, right?
Yep.
Things get broken, cars get dinged.
Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that was his 1984, 1983 Hall of Fame induction speech.
Oof.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Deep.
I didn't hear it live, but I heard the story, and it resonated so well with me and how I have raised my children in opposition to almost everybody else that I encountered.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a shit about the backseat of your car? Okay, I bought myself a nice whatever. Your child spills the food, the drink, the juice, and you yell at your child?
Yeah.
What message are you delivering to them? Two messages. One, the car means more than them. Two, you can't control your emotions.
Yeah.
And three, maybe they mean less. I mean, it's just there's this. A lot of us grow up but never mature, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're parents, and we tend to, and I even caught myself early doing it. We pass on these broken things that were done to us by our parents, who were passed on by broken sentiments. And I know, because of the difficulties I had in childhood, I made a very strong, very intentful on doing the opposite of what was done to me. In some cases, I didn't know what was right or wrong. You don't know as a young father. I just knew I didn't like how it felt when things were done to me, so I didn't perpetuate those things.
You always want to be better than you were when your parents were when you were raised, and whatever
I wanted to be
you
better.
wanted to be.
It sounds like you wanted to be better.
Yeah, and I was raised. You know, I had a good growing up for sure. But you always want to do the best you can.
That's right.
And we'll talk later about the childhood and stuff. And, and I know that you had it, and that's why the intro.
Yeah,
I felt was a good intro for you, because I feel like it has fueled you, and I love that. I want to go off subject for a second, though, and who's not seen or read the video, the story in the video, needs to see it, because it's an awesome, inspiring video about kids. Because I felt like I was that guy a little bit in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You're a dad, you're a new dad, you got a nice, clean house.
Sure.
It needs to remain that way.
Yeah.
You know, kids open up stuff, they bang into things. Now I may react differently if one of my kids are swinging a baseball bat in the kitchen. It might hit the cabinet. Might bother me.
It's circumstantial.
more than a scratch on a car or something else.
That's right.
But but material things can be replaced, but you can't change time.
That's right. You know what was interesting about that video? If you, I don't know if you happen to go into the messages, which there were, I don't know, hundreds of thousands. It was an equal blend of, I agree, and that is a tragedy. That's what's wrong with this country. You need to teach your children respect. I think there's a blurred line between what teaching a child respect looks like. It's not screaming at your child for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
It's demonstrating how you are supposed to act in the face of situations. Screaming at your child for an accident does not teach respect, in my humble opinion.
I agree.
In fact, maybe the opposite.
Yeah.
And if you don't think yelling at a child consistently over their life impacts at the very least their self-confidence as an adult, you're wrong.
100%.
You're just wrong.
Harmon Killebrew, baseball.
Yep.
Right. So I want to go off subject for a second, but baseball is a sport that I played, and
Love in my
I
life
did too.
for sure.
So it's kind of the game of life.
I would agree.
You get up there, it's about confidence, right? It's confidence and mental mindset.
Yep.
Is just such a powerful thing.
Agreed.
And I feel like I'm a better baseball player now.
Yeah.
I'm not, but then I was when I was younger, because when I'm younger, you get pissed off.
Sure.
You know, you're not hitting well. You get up, you know, you're not going to get hit.
Right.
But I think now, if I could go back and go on my young body, I think I'd be a better hitter.
I could see that. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. You know, I played through maybe 1998, took 10 years off, played a men's league in Fort Myers. And
What team?
Oh, God.
Was it the Hitmen, was it?
Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Diamondbacks. Some good players, some guys that, you know, coming off like, you know, AA, AAA, just trying to stay sharp.
Yeah.
And so you're facing, you know, anywhere from 70 to 90,
Sure.
You know. And this delusional confidence that I refer to all the time is present in all aspects of my life, and it certainly was this as well. And I could still hit. You know, in practice, I'm hitting bombs, and I feel great, and I'm like, okay, we're going to, you know what, I may actually make a comeback and go pro. Like, that's the delusion.
Yeah.
That's the delusion. And so I get
you're
up and-
you're 110% in anything
That's
you
110%, right, at least. So first pitch, line drive down, third base line, double. I just take off out of the box. Everything falls apart. Everything. The hip abductors, the legs, because that explosive, I hadn't done it in 10 years.
It hurts,
So
yeah.
anyway.
So
the comeback was quashed.
Yeah, so 98, you were in your mid-20s,
Yeah.
20s, right?
Oh, this was like 2008 when
Oh, that was 08, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
No,
so you're 30, you're over 30.
34, 35, hadn't sprinted in 15 years. Yeah.
And I can relate to that because there's a coach softball league every year.
Yep.
Because I coach the kids. Coach Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to coach Jake up to a certain point. And I remember hitting something, and I took off, same thing.
Yep.
And the hips.
Hip flexors, man.
Right here.
Oh.
It hurt. So the reason why I went into the baseball a little bit is because there's that coaching style, right? You hear the parents, every parent thinks their kid's going pro, right? And you don't see it when you're an adult as much as when you're a kid, but my kids played travel ball. Every kid's going pro.
That's right.
And a lot of yelling from the stands. And I've never felt like that does anything, but just, I think it might make your kids not want to play. Yeah,
that's right. Or not want to participate.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Yep.
I've always been the whisper. Come here. Let me see your swing. You know, he's on deck.
Yeah.
Swing's looking good. Flatten it out a little bit. You're coming coming up a little too, yeah. And just do that, you know?
Yeah. I think we talked about it before we got on here, but I'm very similar. My daughter played volleyball her whole life. And same thing in volleyball, any sports, all the parents are crazy. And I'm the father that would just sit there, and if she made a great play, he wouldn't even hear me, but I would just add a girl. Or if she looked, I'd give her the nod.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
good.
it. Because all you're doing is adding to the negative thing that we know, which is the head game.
Yeah.
Why are you screaming at your child? But beyond embarrassment, you're ensuring that the next one, she's thinking about you versus the mechanics of the play.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like these videos on Instagram. You see some of these dads. It's pretty funny where they're screaming and it's hilarious. Come on, let's go. Where's your helmet?
Have you seen the coach where he comes out to the young players and he's like, I don't know, it's a bad example, but like, do you know you're the worst pitcher in the history of baseball? And he just says all these things.
Heard that one.
It's so funny.
Do you know you're not going in? Do you know this is the last time you're going to ever pitch on the mound?
That's right. That's right.
You've threw 52 balls. You've walked, 8 players.
If your father was here, he wouldn't bring you home.
Yeah. That's pretty funny stuff. Because when you played, that is a lighthearted part of the sport, which is fun.
Yep. At certain levels, it's not lighthearted, but yeah, in the beginning, it is.
Yeah. But I would peg you as a center fielder, batting first. You got wheels. I think they got you on base.
Okay. You
stole second, put you in position. Am I incorrect by thinking that?
My core position, once I got into high school, was third base.
Okay. So you got a good arm.
Third base, had a cannon for an arm, good bat. I batted anywhere between third and fifth at the higher levels. And third worked for me because when I don't think, my reactions are incredible. And so for third base, there's not a lot of time to think.
Yeah, you got to do it.
And that's when I was at my best, was just to react. And so that's where I found a home. I played short, I pitched, I played center field, but that was the one They ended up taking me, all state and traveling ball and Cape Cod, all those types of things. Yeah.
One of my baseball stories actually was one of the fuels for my fire. So, being a small town, getting into a local college here, I went to Edison Community College.
Sure.
Was Edison around?
Yeah.
So I wanted to play for Edison. So I figured they're right here.
Yeah.
They're going to know me. It's a small town, right? They didn't really know me, even though I did do pretty well. I was a big fish in a small pond, right?
Okay. What did you play? What position?
Left field.
Okay.
And I batted third, fourth, and had a good average and everything else. But I played for Edison for half the year, and I remember my coach saying, "You got a great attitude. He said this on the bus one day. If all the players had his attitude, I'd have the best team ever." Sure. Right?
Yeah.
So I thought, what a compliment.
It is.
2 weeks later, I got cut, and that was hard. I cried.
Hard.
I get in the car. I cried because it's
a big deal.
You followed the dream a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Gone.
Yeah.
So that kind of got me into work mode.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the things that crush you create you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I found that to be true time and time again. I mean, honestly, I can give you examples on a decade-by-decade basis where that statement has been factually true for me.
What was the one story about you got injured and it kind of ended your baseball career?
So I was in Providence, Rhode Island, going out with my buddies. All indications that baseball was potentially going to be a career, whatever that means. And I got hit by a drunk driver. I didn't drink. I had my first drink of alcohol, believe it or not, 2 days before I was 21.
Wow.
And the reason I remember that is I decided to go out and have a drink, and my buddy handed me a cocktail, and the bouncer grabbed my arm and said, "Show me your ID." And I go, "Are you kidding me? Like, I have not had a drink my entire life and 2 days before." But anyway, so on the way to the club, drunk driver came up on the curb, hit me in the back, flipped me over the car, and I spent a year laying on the floor at my mom's condo in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. I didn't want to have surgery at 18 years old.
Sure.
At 19, I came to the realization that was going to be what had to happen, and so I had a L4, L5 laminectomy. You can see a scar on my low back about that big. And they said stupid things like that doctors say, no offense to doctors, you're going to have a X% disability and you're never going to work out again. You're never going to do this. And it, like you said, not that I needed any fuel, but it certainly gave me the fuel to tell them to go F off. And I went directly to the gym and started training. And so that's, one of many moments that you have these crossroads in life where you can take what other people are saying and go that path, or you can defy it with a glaring opposition and go your own way.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I've chosen over my entire life to do that, and then just take a ridiculous accountability for my decisions, good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it doing today, the back?
Better than ever, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I struggled for quite some time over the past 10 years. It would go out and it would be there. It was just this thing. And then my gym here in town got a machine that, I don't know what it's called, but it allowed me to contract my glute muscles because what I was doing was protecting my lower back when I was lifting.
Sure.
So I wasn't engaging, but I was strengthening all the muscles around
it. Yeah.
So it would cause my back to go out. And this new machine allowed me to contract my glutes fully. And I shit you not, within a month, I haven't had pain now in a year and a half. I feel like I'm 18 again.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's how the body works. Yeah.
Good.
So the answer is it feels phenomenal.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, those stories, like you're just in a location, right? Just standing there on the curb, you get hit.
Yep.
It's probably helped you with having two girls now to know that being aware of your surroundings in life, when you're driving. I mean, I'm constantly like, I can get a little probably too much, to be honest with you, with the kids. Watch what you're doing. If you're on your phone, get off your phone, look ahead, put it away. I mean, I worry.
Yep. Yeah.
Being aware of your surroundings,
Yeah, I never thought about it. Well, I guess I never articulated it that way. But if you drive with me, every partner that I've ever had, I rarely, can you look at the road? Because I'm always looking in this mirror, I'm always looking in this mirror, I'm always looking in this mirror. And we've had probably 2 or 3 cases where, because I was doing that, we didn't get in what could have been a very severe accident.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's my conversations on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
Because Joey's driving now, and
that's right. Keep your head up.
Yeah. I said, did you look over?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. I said, I didn't see you look up. He goes, no, I looked up. I said, buddy, I could tell when you're looking up because your head goes like this.
That's right.
You need to know what's going on behind you and in front of you in case you need to make a quick move.
Yeah.
So that's my day-to-day now.
It's a compelling lesson, I think, across all of life, which is we all think that only what we do affects us when in reality we're affected by what everybody is doing at a lot of the time. And unfortunately for a lot of us, including myself, something dramatic has to happen for you to become aware of that.
Yeah. Derik, I was excited to have you in here because we do share some of the same things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm older. You were a freshman. I was a senior in high school, so 4 years older.
Yeah.
But with kids and success and being busy, how do you manage that work-life mix, being present at home and being, on the call when the phone rings?
Would you like me to answer how I did that when I was younger or how I do it today?
Actually, give me both.
Okay. I don't know that in my 20s there was much of a balance. Before the girls came, my oldest anyway, there was zero balance. I forewent relationships that could have been meaningful, friendships that could have been meaningful. All I wanted was to be rich. That's all I ever wanted. Not a very meaningful pursuit, you could argue, but factually true for me in my early. I was running away from a life of poverty and abuse, and all I knew the opposite of that was money, and so that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
Then my daughter came along, and it was like a cattle prod to my soul. It made me start questioning everything, because all of a sudden there was this person that meant more to me than me for the first time in my entire life. And I don't care what people think about that, it's true. I think a lot of young men that have big dreams are somewhat self-involved and a bit egotistical and selfish. Maybe you weren't, I was. Sophia came along and I was like, wow, not only do I have this responsibility for another human being, I love this person in a way that I was never loved. And I didn't believe that I had the capacity to love that way. I get emotional thinking about it. So it changed me. And so I made a commitment to myself that, at that point, this is an important preface, I had achieved a relative success that allowed me to make certain decisions that other people potentially could not. I think that's important to note. I made a clear line in the sand that I was always going to be available for whatever it was my kid did, whether it was a volleyball, whether it was a play, whatever it was. And throughout my career, I got a bit of a reputation for everybody knew that if we were in a contentious meeting and the phone rang, I would look, and if it was my daughter or it was the person that I was with, the meeting stops. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. And, I had sole custody of my daughter for quite some time. And in a lot of these big meetings, Sophia, as a little girl, was sitting at the end of the boardroom coloring like she was taking notes. And a couple of times I had people that said they didn't think it was appropriate. And that was perfect because we were not in business together. And so I prioritized my daughter in a way that I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
Now, that also meant I took her with me to do certain things because there are certain things as a man with ambition that has to be done. Now, at 46, I don't do much that I don't want to do. I think my definition of wealth now is I get to choose not just what I do, but who I do it with. And I don't care, and I understand this is a selfish, spoiled statement to make, but I don't care if there's a deal that can make me 6, 7, whatever the figure is. If I've got something important to do with my children or my family, that will wait. And if that means that goes away, that means it wasn't a deal that I wanted to be a part of anyway, because I'm not bending on my prioritization as a 46-year-old man with 2 children that are 16 and 18 who need guidance in a different way than they did before. They don't just need a dad that's there. They need a dad that is there to really listen and guide, and I'll forego everything for that.
I love that.
Yep.
That's how I feel too.
Yep.
At the beginning of my career, when I was doing something and I couldn't do it, and if there was an open house and I wanted to take my kids to hit baseballs or go to a baseball game, I'm not going to the open house.
Yep.
And I'd have a client that, would be upset, right? But that was the client with no kids, and their priorities were different. That's right. But if I had a client that had kids and loves their kids like I love my kids, they would say, "Hey, Joe, Derik,
of course, do it another day.
I'm glad your daughter's here coloring. I wish I would have done that with my kids.
That's right.
Right?
It's such a great point. If you went back and talked to, and I've employed, I don't even know, at least 10, 20,000 people over my career throughout many different verticals and companies. If you found any one of them, what was Derik's core mantra, core value? They would say that family came first. So it's one thing to say, I'm the guy, I get to skip everything for my family. It's another thing to say, if you work with me, not for me, because no one in my career has ever worked for me, they've all worked with me, and I mean that, their family came first too. You have an event, you have this, you just let us know, or you let your manager know, and we've got you. My C-suite, all the way down to a minimum wage employee, that comes first. Not only is that just fundamentally the right thing to do from a foundational basis of life, you build a loyalty that I think is very rare in today's economic, corporate world.
It really is.
Yep.
Because people don't care as much about people.
People don't care about anything other than themselves.
That's right.
And I get that. Like that's factually true for everybody. But let's say a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I'm always going to choose me and my family if we're in danger or if we're in need. But if we're not, all I care about is everybody else and how they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's just true. Let's be honest about what it is. And that's how it should be.
It's important.
It is.
For sure. And I know that a lot of the business motto for you is that you invest in people, right? You would take people, and I heard an interview with you, and I thought, that's really good because, we get burned sometimes. I've been burned many, many times.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you how many times.
But I still give the same handshake. I still trust people. Yeah. And I get burned, but I still go touch the fire sometimes with no problem. It's just the way it goes.
Well, what does yesterday have to do with today?
Yeah.
Right? Because if I relied on my recollection of all of the things that went wrong, I would never do anything. I wouldn't leave the house. And so what's the point?
That's right.
And so I can't punish, what is the expression? Don't blame, God, what is that expression? Don't blame the blade that didn't cut you, right? That's a powerful kind of thought process.
That's right.
And I equate that to the new relationship that I'm in. I was married and divorced, and I'd say it was good or bad, but if you got divorced, it probably wasn't the best marriage.
Sure.
I have a lot of friends that would be like, what are you doing? How are you getting back into another relationship and getting married again?
Yeah.
And I said, what does that relationship have to do with this? That's so unfair that I'm going to punish a new person who's done nothing wrong. There's no issues. I'm going to punish them because of feelings I have from the past where I'm probably at least 50% responsible for the outcome.
Sure. That's the way it goes. Yeah. Yep. I'm not going to not trust you because of you, right?
That's right.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
We talked about success earlier, and success is an interesting thing, right? Because when you're young, like the young Joe, I would go back and talk to the young Joe.
Oof.
Because
we wouldn't listen. I wouldn't have listened.
I would tell you that you're crazy, right? Because that's when you're young, you're arrogant, you got ego, all the things that you don't want today are things you have when you're younger. So when you're younger, you think money. Success is money.
That's it.
All I want to do is make money.
That's it.
And
then let everyone know how much of it I have.
Yeah, yeah. And no one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares.
And then as you get older, you realize success is what you kind of talked about later, right? It's family. It's being able to have the freedom to do what you got to do to be a good dad, and
that's right,
and have great relationships, right?
Yeah, I was a egotistical douchebag in my early 20s. All I cared about was money. If you met me in my 20s, hi, I'm Derik. I have a this, and this. And I see it in 20-year-olds now, and I chuckle because I'm appalled by it. But then I remember that I was that guy. And now at 46, you have to, despite what you see on social media, but you really have to pull it out of me. Like my greatest joy is like at the gym. Most people just think I'm some gym guy who probably comes in, works out, works a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then from time to time, someone will be like, I think I just saw you. And I'm like, hey, I'm just a gym bro. I'm just a meathead like you. Let's just keep it that way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like, yes, I've had success. Yes, I've made some money. Who cares? Like, what else you got?
That's right.
What else you got?
It's weird because when you're younger and you buy something that's out of your reach and you get it in your hands, it felt so good, right? that first watch you wanted.
Oh my
you
God, I
get
remember
it,
still
you
today.
wear it on.
Yeah.
Man, which watch was it? Nice.
First luxury watch, yep.
Yeah, well, because you're probably somewhere where you saw the guy with the cuffed up sleeves and
Oh.
thought, look at that guy right there.
Listen,
Right?
and every time, hey, bud, how are you?
Yeah. Hey, which way is the gym?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. And then the first expensive car and the first expensive house. In some ways, if I'm being honest, I do miss that have not. Not to say I'm not still driven, ambitious, and have goals, but there is a point to success where it becomes less like exciting.
Sure.
And at my age, I actually, just being honest, I have to work at staying motivated. Not because I desire necessarily more money and certainly not more things. I don't even really care about some of the cars that I have. But I want to stay motivated because I love the art of business. I love deals. I love seeing the angles. That's what really gets me excited. If I wasn't making money or if I was working a 9-to-5 and I was doing that for the job, I would still be as passionate about it as I am in my everyday life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's interesting as you start to grow, like the Submariner for you felt so good, right?
Yeah.
But then the one that you bought, maybe it was a Daytona next.
Don't even remember what second
who
one
knows
was.
what it was. But it didn't feel the same for sure.
It does not.
And I just turned 50 last month, and I bought a Bruce Wayne Rolex, really cool watch, and I really wanted this watch. Yeah. And I put it on my wrist, Derik, and it felt good.
Yeah.
But it just
okay.
It's the other things that make success, right?
That's right.
It's being a dad. It's really the journey. It's all the things that you've done when you're younger to today. Your first deal you constructed.
Yep.
Which was
I know you're going to go there. We'll go there. I know. I was waiting for this one.
Which is a cool deal, by the way.
But let's not miss the fact that you don't get to where we are without having gone through all of the stuff that we did. And so for the 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds listening, go get your stuff. Feel that excitement of, I did this, I earned this, I feel good. Don't buy into the bullshit that makes you better than anyone, but believe in the fact that you deserve what you've accomplished. Huge difference.
That's right.
Right? That stuff always made me feel incredible about me, but it never made me feel better than anybody else. That never even really computed to me because deep down, I'll always be that poor kid from Rhode Island. Like that's still real in me. And I love that and I embrace it and I say it all the time because it drives how I treat other human beings.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's huge. And you got to feel that too. It's like as you grow and you get more money, you're always looking at what you got and what you don't have. And it's just like all these are just chapters, man. They're just all chapters in a book. And you got to just enjoy doing it because there's no celebration at the end. Hey, Derik made it, man. Derek, Derik's got 2 million followers. We're so happy for him. I mean, you got to be happy with that. But it's you're not going to get the celebration for it.
Yeah, I mean, the followers thing, it's surprising. That's the word I would use. Social media for me started accidental. It's intentful now. But you said you've been looking. I'll give anybody $1 million if they find one post about me selling anything.
Yeah.
I don't have an ask. I don't have a course. I'm not selling anything. And so a lot of people ask, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And although I don't know that I even have a complete thought process on that because it's always changing and evolving, but I found myself recently, sometimes I'll scroll back and comment, and I looked at the work, and I have maybe 2,000 posts, and it's almost like a beautiful diary to my children.
Yeah.
And I get, we all get trash, which is fine. I could care less.
Sure.
Your opinion of me has nothing to do with me. But I get a lot of really meaningful messages in ways that some of the things that I take for granted or you take for granted, other people, it's life-changing and life-shattering. And so I'm finding it's very cathartic for me in some ways. I never thought that my horrific childhood could do anything. It has created me in a lot of wonderful ways, but I never thought it could have any value for anybody else. And I'm finding that it does, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody else that wishes they had that childhood that you had.
100%. There's always someone that's had it worse.
It goes right down the line.
Right. That's right.
It's those motivational messages. But is it hard now to keep in, because I could only imagine what your social media messages look like? I mean, to sit there and respond and stuff, are you able to get to that?
I do. It's a luxury for sure. And I say that because I mean it. I mean, a lot of is this really, is it AI? Is it your team? You could bring my team in right now and they'll shake their head and be like, yes, he actually sits there and responds to everybody. I look at it, especially some of the negative I'll respond to in a positive way. I don't get in arguments. I don't, whatever. But the ones that take the time to really comment, I feel if they're taking time out of their life to give positive energy, the least I can do is spend a moment or 5 seconds to, even if it's just a like and a high five, or there are some where I'll really sit and go back and forth or even go offline and DM. I think we all forget that in the pursuit of follows and likes and, all of this stuff, that there's a human being on the other end, right? And so, yes, it's interesting and exciting, but I think the biggest takeaway for me is to be able to do things like this and share what is common to me, but I've come to realize is somewhat uncommon approach to life.
Yeah.
And if that can help in some way, that's awesome. Yeah.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just sitting down having a beer, you
Agreed.
and I,
So
maybe
the real estate deal, I know you want to talk about this one.
Next time, yeah.
Oh, we're going to go have a beer. Well, it'll be a vodka for me, but a beer for you.
So we're going to talk, we will talk about that real estate deal. I want to ask you a question because sometimes when we have kids, you tell them things, right? They don't listen. You don't think they don't hear you.
Yeah.
You're like, I wonder if he's listening.
Yeah.
You ever have that moment where one of your kids shocks you with a comeback and you're like, oh, wow, you were listening.
Constantly.
You were listening.
Constantly. Well, I'll start that with when I'm most frustrated with my oldest daughter is when she's acting exactly like me. And I think in the moment, me frustrated, no one ever believes this, but if you ask my daughters, they would confirm. I have never raised my voice at either one of my children. Take that back. I've done it, I think, once to each of them. And I immediately followed it with, I'm sorry for raising my voice. I don't like what you've done, but I had no right to yell at you. And that comes from my childhood. Yeah. That is not like this thing that I manifested. And this is not me saying I'm a better parent or a worse parent. But it's really important. It's a core belief for me. Most recently, what happened with Sophia, proud dad moment. I've talked about it on another podcast, but I love it, so I'll share with you. When Sophia was getting her first car. God, it was such an exciting moment for me. Whatever you want, kid.
It's coming up for me, so I'll have to call you when I.
Yeah. What do you want? Leading up to it, I'm like, maybe I'm not gonna do. I was like, you name it, kid. We're gonna go get it. Yeah. And she's like, okay, I'll think about it. And we're in the car, and I go, so where are we going? You want to go to Mercedes, BMW? You want to go to Naples? Where do you want to go? And she goes, well, I thought about it, and here's what I want. She turns her phone, and it's a Chevy Equinox.
Okay.
And I think, okay, it's reasonable. Not a cheap car by any stretch, but by a measure of what she could have had, I think a humble choice. And I said, if you don't mind me asking, why that car? And this is as close to verbatim as I can give you. She said, Dad, I thought about it, and I don't want people at school to think I'm a spoiled rich kid. And when I get my first really nice car, I want to be the one that paid for it. Man, I mean, it's, you can see, right? And so I think that's one of those moments where there wasn't anything direct that I did. And let's not take away credit from my daughter, because she deserves the credit in that moment. If I'd done some things or demonstrated some things that have contributed to that, I think absolutely. But she had a choice, despite what I did, and other kids choose this, to be a spoiled kid and demand things and not want to earn. And so she made a decision that floored me. And she's done a lot of things that have made me proud, but that's at the top of my list.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
That's really the humbleness in her.
Yeah.
She's
got a drive that I don't see present in some 30, 40, and 50-year-olds. You want to give it to me? I'll take it.
Yeah.
So that was a really good moment for me.
CEO of the company. I mean, she'll be the,
she's foreign gold. She's not going to college.
She'll be right below you.
Well, if you ask her, she's already above me.
Nice. Oh, that's good.
Her goal in life is to knock me down. Yeah. Not like, but she's competitive. She's like, you wait and see what I do, Dad. Let's go.
That's crazy. It's amazing with the kids these days, the things that they're smart. They're just step above where we are. And the
There's
future,
no doubt.
the future is them.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
when
certainly not us.
As things are changing with the younger generations, this is all them.
That's right.
So
That's right.
they're going to take what we use.
Yep.
And I tell my son, Joey, I hope you sell more homes than me.
Why
Jules,
wouldn't you?
I want you to.
Yeah.
Jake, I would love for that to happen. I'm not going to lay down easy, though. I won't tap out. I won't tap out easy.
You want to compete? Let's compete in the most wholesome, loving way.
Yeah.
But let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
But as a father, and this, by the way, I think you think this is common too, because I used to it. It's not common for a parent to honestly want their kid to succeed at a level that you're not. That's not common.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it is. But what better, how much fulfilling could it be to someday, but let's not quantify it materially, to just see your child happy or happier than you are.
Yeah.
Like I'm a really happy guy. There are moments we all have where we're not, but like I want my child to be blissfully happy. And that's, people are sometimes surprised that I don't measure that by cars, houses, and money. I don't care if my daughter works a 9 to 5. I don't care if she is a volunteer. I don't care if she's a mother of 4 and her husband pays the bills. If my daughter looks me in the eyes and says, Dad, I'm happy, I've won.
That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Just be happy.
That's it.
Good stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
Tell me about the deal.
I'll tell you about the deal.
Because I thought that's cool, man.
There's
I heard
a bunch
it
of
and
real estate deals, but this one seems to be the one
I like that one.
that people enjoy. I think it's because of my age. So I was 22 years old, just moved, 22, 23. I just moved to Florida. This is when WCI was king of the hill. Remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it was at Hoffman lived in Gulf Harbor, and he had the Bush dinners and all of this type of stuff. So I'm just in town. I'm a hot trot kid. I'm going to take over the world. And so I'm going where people are going, and I buy the dinner, and I meet the top realtors at WCI and make the connection. And we're going out. So we schedule a lunch date later. And so we get in the car, and we're heading to Naples to have dinner, and they get a phone call. And of course, I can't hear the call, but they say, do you mind if we make a quick stop? Hey, of course. And they offered me to come in. So it's at the time, a low income rental property, a couple 300, 400 units. And it had just been purchased by a REIT. What they were doing was they were gathering a group of the most successful realtors in town and basically pre-selling it to them. How many do you want? How many do you want? We're going to convert these low-income units to high-end condominiums. And there's going to be probably 130 to 150,000 after rehab in margin.
Sure.
And so I'm sitting there, and I've never done a real estate deal. I've really never even dabbled in it.
What year was this?
2002.
Okay.
2002. And so I feel there's an opportunity. I've always been very good at identifying, well, I have information that maybe someone doesn't have. And so we go to lunch, and I'm disconnected. Like I'm just like I'm trying to put these pieces together. Go home, do a little research. And at the time, I found something that supported the fact that low-income tenants had first right of refusal if it was going to be converted. And so I draft letters. First, I talk to my realtor friends out of respect, and they're like, D, we sell $5 million homes in Gulf Harbor. We don't care. It's not going to work anyway. Do your thing. I was like, okay. And so I draft letters, have them couriered. Dear tenant, you may not know this, but your unit is going to be converted to a high-end condominium. You have first right of refusal. I highly suggest you do it. If you don't, sign over your rights to me, and I'll give you $1,000 to relocate. Day goes by. I'm so excited. I know this is going to work. Day goes by, nothing. I'm like, well, hey, what are you going to do?
I felt so good about this.
I felt so good. $70. What am I going to do? No big deal. Next day, I get some calls. Within 3 or 4 days, I get hundreds of people assigning me their rights, and they're sending me the leases. And so what I didn't know, but I found out because of this, they had an option from the original owner to buy their units. They went all the way back to the original leases that were drafted. And so I think that, was it 205 or whatever the number was, 250 rather, that were assigned to me. So now the REIT is calling me. We're suing you. You're going to jail. This is illegal. And at 22, I had the enough composure to just say, nothing I'm doing is wrong. The only question I want answered is, where should I send the check? Do you have an escrow account? Now listen, I am flat out playing poker. If they said, send the money, deal's done. I didn't have it, right? We're talking real money. These units were like, 250 units or something, like 90 grand. Like, it was a dead deal. But I'm sending emails. I'm calling. Where do I send the money? So finally, there was the chief financial officer calls me and goes, listen, like, what do you want here? I go, I want to buy the units. And he goes, well, we don't want to do that. Like, how can we? And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'm guessing that you probably have 130 to 150,000 per unit. I go, listen, since I control the units right now, why don't you give me 20,000 per unit and we'll just call it a day. $5 million. I made $5 million from a $70 investment in 20 days of just bullshitting and playing poker. Wow. And so, a lot of people hear that and they think, well, they must have hated you, which I think in the moment they did. But funny story, I ended up over the next 5 to 10 years, I did 2 other deals with them. And after the first deal after that, there wasn't a real conversation. And then we met up one time. He goes, let me ask you a question. When you were going to buy those units, what were you going to do with them? Did you already have another buyer? And I go, do you really want to know? He goes, I have to know. And I go, I was full of shit.
Yeah.
He goes, are you kidding me?
That's crazy. Listen. Oh, man. Yeah. But luckily they didn't call your bluff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But if they did, so what? I had nothing to lose. And so I think, recognizing opportunity, speed to opportunity, having the balls to just go for it, all worked out. Could have not, but my risk was menial. And what I learned in that moment, a lot of things that have really based the foundation of my life, but it gave me evidence that it doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what you have, you can compete at the highest level just by getting in the goddamn game.
Yeah.
And so I already had confidence, but man, that took me to a whole nother level.
Yeah. So is that when it started, like, you started, spending a little bit more, doing more things, or did you take that money and you just keep snowballing it from that point on?
I would love to tell you that I didn't waste any of that money, but I gloriously wasted some of that money. I was young and dumb and had millions of dollars. And so, but I've always been very good at, in my 20s, Monday through Friday was grind. Friday night through Sunday was enjoy life.
Let's go.
I worked hard and played hard and I waste money and I made bad decisions and I did dumb stuff. But as soon as that bell rang on Monday morning, I was back to work. And so I don't know, I wouldn't call that balance, but for me, that was my balance through my 20s until my daughter was born that worked for me.
Yeah.
And then I rolled that into a variety of other projects and a lot of companies in Southwest Florida that you would know and other people would know. And from a real estate perspective, I'm just an arbitragist. I'm in and out. I don't hold. I've done a couple flips, but, variety of success, nothing to write home about. But these moments where I smell opportunity or there's a point of leverage, that's where I get in, make the quick money, and get out.
Yeah. That reminds me of, getting 2 ideas together, right? Mm-hmm. And you're the guy to get the ideas.
Yep.
Married.
Yep.
Makes me think of a movie that I so often love.
Which is?
The Wolf. Not The Wolf of Wall Street, but The Wolf.
Is that what Jack Nicholson?
When the wolf shows up.
What is that?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Winston Wolfe.
Yeah.
Winston Wolfe. He shows up, 11 minutes, and, coffee. Good coffee. With Quentin Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson. Great flick right there. Great. So you were kind of like the ideas. You were able to make things happen.
That's still what I do now. At its like most base level, I attribute this, I think, to my childhood, as dramatic as it was. I see the angles. I challenge everything in life. If everyone's doing something one way, even if it makes complete sense to me, I want to try to do it a different way. If you ask my executives, we'll be on calls and they'll speak up and say, we just want to, this is to say a partnership. My CEO will send up, we just want to make something super clear to you. If you do a deal with Derik, we're going to do everything opposite from everybody else. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, he's okay with that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's equal parts because I love to just create. I think I'm an artist at heart. I love to challenge the norms, and I've just had really good success doing things differently.
Yeah. Take a deal that nobody wants and turn it into a big deal.
Yeah, I think everybody's so transactional, not just nowadays, but globally speaking, that if it doesn't immediately make sense as it's presented, people go like this. I'm very good. I use the expression, I listen between the lines really, really well. And so I don't pay much attention to what people are saying. I'm paying attention to what they're not saying or what maybe they don't see. And so that's equal parts financials, which I think is really my gift. Numbers talk to me. And we could do this live. You can give me a P&L from a company that I've never seen, and I can tell you things about that company that the chief operating officer doesn't know. And so there's value in that.
Sure.
And there wasn't a course, and I didn't learn it. I just, I don't know. It's just, I guess it's a gift that I have cultivated over time. And I think that started when I was really young. Prior to that deal, I started 3F Management. I didn't know what it was. I wanted to sound fancy, so I called it a venture capital firm. Sure as shit wasn't a venture capital firm, but it sounded important. And so I started going to these big organizations in Southwest Florida and pitching my services. And I'm in a boardroom with a bunch of guys I'm 22, they're 40, 50, and 60. And they're like, how did this kid get in the room? Why the hell are we sitting here listening to this idiot? And they're shaking their head like that, just waiting for you to get the hell out of here. And so I would pitch everything. And I got a lot of no's, but eventually, my hook was, I'm going to do all of these things. Okay, great, kid. Well, how much? Well, there's no cost to you. And then you get people, that gets your attention. But you just listed 20 things that you're going to do and you're going to do it for free. What's the catch? So that's where you got them. Someone says, what's the catch? You've got their attention. And I said, listen, I don't know everything. Here are my skill sets. Here's what I think I can do. If you give me access to, and I can either increase or decrease costs, increase revenue or decrease costs, I just want a percentage of that. And we'll do it for a period of 12 months. And if it doesn't make any sense, then you haven't lost anything. Get out of here, get out of here. All of a sudden, someone said, okay, let's try. And so I made a lot of money doing that. But what I gained more than anything was I had unfiltered access to SOPs, CFOs, financial data, information, all of these things in real time with some of the most successful companies in the area as a 22-year-old. And I'm navigating and looking and thinking and, well, what do you think about this? And the CEO would go, well, that's an awful idea. See, I heard the word island in me, idea. And here's why. That's how it's powerful. Or that's a great idea. I've never thought of that. Super powerful. So I started cultivating these skills, again, just by getting myself in the game. If I had never made $1, that was worth millions.
Yeah. Building confidence too, especially when somebody says to you, great idea, right?
Absolutely.
And they don't want to say that to you because they're twice your age, right?
They do not want to say that. That's right.
But that's good stuff, man. When you look at the mindset through the days and getting up, or tell me about the mindset, the morning routine and things that you do to be the best you.
The morning routine. James is out there laughing right now. He's like, oh, did he really ask him about his morning routine? So I don't, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone, including you. Let's start with today at 46. My morning routine today has zero value to anyone trying to achieve anything because it's a result of. It is not what leads to a result. So at 46, having what I have, it allows me to do whatever it is I want. And so if I want to get up at 9 a.m. and sit in bed and scroll and post and have a coffee and go to the gym at 12 and come home at 2 and start my day, that's what I do. But there's no value there for anybody else. So let's go back to when I was 22 and hustling like my life depended on it. I chuckle when I hear about ice baths and journaling and, putting your feet on the earth and, getting the sun and, red lights. And listen, maybe all of that's beneficial. Maybe it's not. I don't know if it works for you. That's awesome. But at 22, my ass got out of bed. As soon as my eyes opened, my hair was on fire. I was out the door and I just started executing. That was my routine. I didn't do stuff to make me feel a certain way. I just did stuff to move my trajectory forward. And some of the days was a waste and some of it was excellent. And I talked about this before. I charted all of the things I did in my early 20s on a daily basis, everything. And I would look at what was really productive to that day and it wasn't productive. And if it was super unproductive, I would pull it out of my day. And I became very militaristic in the way that I did things. So I guess that was my routine, but it was none of this I'll call it new age stuff other than working out. That's been a consistent part of my life, my entire life.
And some days that changes, right? Some days it's first thing and some days it's not.
That's right.
Just get it done.
Just get it done.
If you're in good shape.
I'm not. It's my passion. Yeah. I hide it under this suit. But
you got to hide the guns a little bit.
That's right.
That's good.
My favorite joke when I'm going through security and no one thinks it's funny but me, especially my daughters. You go through and they're scanning you and they'll go, okay, you're good to go. And I go, really? even with these guns, and I go,
Oh, yeah.
my daughters are so embarrassed. I can't. Every time we travel, I love it because I know they hate it.
Oh, they hate it. Yeah. You might get a chuckle here and there, but most of the
Very
time,
rarely.
most of the time it's,
Very rarely.
come back through the sensors, Mr.
That's right.
Yeah. The ice bath, the cold plunges and all. I've never done that, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll give that a chance at some point.
Maybe it's great. I will never. Not because I don't think it won't work. I am a absolute unconditional baby when it comes to cold water. It's just not going to happen. I'm the guy that if the water's 75 degrees in the pool, I'm standing there at like knee level because I can't get past that point because it's too cold. That's who I am. We all have our strengths and weaknesses.
Pat Gira asked me to come on his show last week. One was a hot yoga, which I'm not doing that.
Yep.
And then a cold plunge. And,
on the show?
Yeah, on the show. Yeah, they do a live show and a cold plunge. Forget that.
Yeah, that sounds.
We're not. Sounds terrible.
That sounds like my nightmare.
Terrible. So when life gets crazy, stress, you feel the pressure. What do you do to sort of just unwind, let go?
What do I do to unwind? So the gym is my happy place. It's where I've worked out nearly, except for when I've been injured, nearly, I would say 5 to 7 days a week for the past, say I'm 46, so 33 years. It's where I go to start my day. It's where I go to reset. It's where I go to push out the demons. It's where I go to celebrate success. It's where I go when I'm sad. It's where I go when I'm happy. And so, outside of my family and my endeavors in life, the gym is a passion that's so strong for me. And in honest, the gym saved my life as a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And you might ask why or might, but at 13, coming out of my childhood, I had to choose the direction I was going. And one would have been, where my siblings went, which was drugs and trouble and crime and jail, which both of them ended up there. And I found the gym. Ironically, someone had given my father the Arnold Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding Bible as a joke, because my dad never worked out a day. And he threw it in his closet. And I'm a curious little kid, and I'm sorry, maybe I'll find something cool in my dad's closet. And I find that, and I was hooked. I looked at these men, and I thought, now, that is a guy who these things that happened to me when I was young, that would never happen to them. That's not true, but that's how I felt.
Sure.
And so I went to the gym in pursuit of feeling strong and powerful so I couldn't be hurt again. But what I found, in addition to that, was a brotherhood. I found a group of guys that didn't matter if you were the richest guy or the poorest guy. The weights don't care what you've done. It just cares they just care what you're doing.
Sure.
And so it leveled everybody. And I still feel that way today. I love it. We talked about it a little bit, prior.
That's right.
It's my safe place.
When you're younger, you want to build the muscles to be as big as you can, right? You want to be 200 when you're, in high school.
Sure.
And then when you get older, you're almost pushing like that angry seller out of my mind, or the buyer that bought a home with somebody else, or the deal I tried to do where they tried to burn me, but they didn't get me. Those things I push out as I'm working out. So
there you go.
I'm working out my mind at the gym a lot too. And
I'm the guy that doesn't listen to music. There's people, for some reason, I potentially have severe ADHD because I can't shut my mind off. But at the gym, it slows down, and I'm able to focus in a way, or just completely shut it down, because I feel like it's something that I'm doing for me.
Yeah.
So
at night, can you turn off the switch?
No.
Nope. Not many can,
nope.
By the way.
Nope. And those that do, I question the validity of that statement. True entrepreneurs, it's very hard. And I struggle to be, in my youth, I really struggled to be present. And today it's a conscious effort to be present. What do I mean by that? As entrepreneurs, at least for me, we're always looking for the result of the action that we've just done. So I structured this deal. I did this thing. I hired this person. The result should be, and now all I'm waiting for is to see that. And the gap between the two, when you go home, it made it very difficult for me to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about your childhood a little bit. And I know we've talked a little bit. I've heard some of the shows and stuff, but tell me a little bit about the childhood. I mean, what, things that maybe people don't know, or like just kind of give me some more information about that. Yeah.
So happy to do it, because I hesitated my entire life to ever talk about it. And when I decided and I realized how powerful it was, it's this thing that shapes a child's life in a way that you can't understand, both really negatively, but it can be positive, but no one talks about it. So it becomes this deep, dark secret that people carry with them, and it crushes them. So I grew up, my mom and dad were divorced shortly after I was born, and my mom had full custody. Back in the day, it just wasn't like it was today. The mom just got custody. The dad wasn't a bad guy. He fought for custody, couldn't get it. And so my mom remarried, and
At what age were you at that point?
When they got divorced, probably less than one.
Okay. So you didn't recognize the happy home or anything in the beginning, right? You didn't?
Didn't have that, no. So because of that, neither of them were making any money. We moved into the projects, Section 8, welfare in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, me and my mom. She met a man, got remarried, had my sister very shortly thereafter. And so between the ages of, say, 3 or 4 and 12, maybe 11, this man was the most horrific abuser you could ever imagine. Physically, mentally, sexually, like just the worst human being you could ever imagine. And some people are like, well, okay, what is really bad? And so would you like me to share a couple stories? Yeah. So the first one, these are both memories that, live pretty brightly. Not that I think about them every day, but
it's good to talk. It's good to
it is
to talk
because this
through
stuff
it, right?
happens to people, and they feel shame, and they shouldn't feel shame. And so my baby sister was about 2. She was I was watching TV. And back in the day, you have these big TVs, like big boxes.
Yeah,
and we usually had them on top of like a bureau or a TV stand or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, 27-inch, but it's 300 pounds,
right.
And it's
And so my baby sister is laying underneath the TV on a blanket, and I'm watching on the couch. And this man comes home, drunk as always. And because she was crying, he came in, went over to the television, and knocked it over deliberately on top of her. Now, the corner of the TV landed directly in the side of her face. And so split her entire face and head wide open. And now I'm 4 or 5, seeing this. And obviously I thought my sister was dead. My mom came in. And I think she spent 3.5, 4 weeks in the hospital. Still has a massive scar right here on her face.
Did your mom defend him at all, or did she? How does your mom react at that point?
So back in that time, I would say that the police were always called by neighbors, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm probably undercutting, but let's say 25 times in a year the police would be called and they would come. Now back then, the abuser and the family would be standing next to each other. The police would say, did he do this? Now, you could be bruised and bleeding and just clearly beat.
That's right.
Did he do this? Now, your mom is faced with a decision. You say yes, and they take him, and they put him in jail. He gets out the next day, he comes back, he does it 5 times worse. You say no, they still take him. They take him to the top of the street. He comes back furious. So it was a no-win situation.
Sure.
We've come a distance with how that's handled, but still probably far short of what it should be. And one of the most compelling, I think, stories that I've shared that had a huge impact on me, my mom and my sister and I'm probably 7 or 8. So my sister's 3 or 4. He came home, as he often does, drunk. He locked my sister and I in a closet for a better part of 3 days. The closets where you can see out, but you can't see in.
Sure.
And so over the course of those 3 days, he beat, raped, and horrifically tortured my mom right in front of me. My sister was kind of too young to remember this, but, we're urinating and going to the bathroom, and there's no food and there's nothing. And obviously I remember that, but I also remember seeing through, and there was that little TV, black and white TV, and thinking is this real? Did I do something wrong? And I can remember as a 7 or 8 year old boy thinking, I don't have any control over this, but I know that this is wrong. And I know that this is the life that I'm living today, but it will not be the life I'm living forever. And I remember watching the Brady Bunch on TV or Mr. Ed and lifestyles of the rich and famous. And I just found myself getting lost in that and envisioning a life that was so far from anything I could imagine. And if you don't think that really wrote a lot of the history of where I've ended up, I think you'd be wrong.
I believe that, yeah. Mindset, being able to overcome even reality in front of you.
That's right.
Is your mom, is she alive?
She is.
She is. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still communicate with her at all?
So we were very close for a long time. She worked for me for about 10 years. It's a tumultuous relationship for sure. My sister, believe it or not, unfortunately went to prison for a substantial amount of time because she does what a lot of people in those situations, because she was also horrifically abused.
Yeah.
Ended up in jail for drugs. But she found God, and it changed her life, and she's come out, and she's an incredible mother, and I'm more proud of her accomplishments than I am my own. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But she's reconciled with her father, which blew me away. This happened about 2 years ago. She said, my father called me and wants to meet, and he asked if you wanted to meet. I tell you what,
Man.
it's, him and I had one encounter when I was younger before I left Rhode Island. Hadn't seen him in like 15 years. We were at the gym and we came face to face, and that ended in a really bad fight. And I was embarrassed of it. I attacked him and beat him, and he just laid there as if he knew he deserved it. And then I felt, it was just this mush of it didn't feel the way I wanted it to feel, and I felt embarrassed of it. And so I didn't want to.
You thought it would relieve.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It
made it worse.
I felt like I was acting like he did.
Yeah.
I was out of control. I was angry. That was actually a pivotal moment for me too. But to come back to my sister, she met with him. He apologized. He owned everything that he did. He talked her through all the stuff that she didn't remember, which is super important for her, because it was like, for her, it was, I know it happened, but was it real? And then you've got potentially my mom who didn't want to admit it and saying that's not true.
Yeah.
And then you get lost. And this happens with so many people. Am I making this up, or did it really happen? So he gave her what she needed. I was old enough that I had it. And so I did not take her up on that, but she didn't. And it was healing for her. Yeah.
So are you guys tight today, or did her talking to her stepfather, did that bother you enough that it's wedged in between?
No. So I'm not wired that way.
Okay.
Just because something's
That's
not
good.
for me, it doesn't mean it's not for her.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm happy that it's what she needed. That had no material impact on our relationship. As I said, I'm incredibly proud of her. We don't have, on that side of my family, you don't have an incredibly close relationship just because there's just a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
And they would never admit it, but I think I'll say it. I think when we come together, there's a lot of unspoken hurt, and so nobody feels super comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
I appreciate you talking about it, man.
Yeah,
I really
I think
do.
it's powerful for people to hear.
It really
that
is.
You can come out of it. B, it's not your fault, and there's nothing to be shameful about. And I think the biggest takeaway, if you don't mind me just rounding this out, none of us get to choose if we're victimized, but we all get to choose if we remain a victim. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's that victim or victor, right? Got to be the victor.
Yeah.
But man, that's deep. That's deep, and I'm glad you shared it. Where does this all, like, from that point on, right? You're 10, 12 years old. Where does it go from there?
Well, it's not a clean break. So she finally decides, my mom, that we're going to get out. And then between, say, 12 and 14, now Rhode Island's a small state.
Yeah.
It's the smallest. I think we lived somewhere like 11 or 12 houses over a 2-year period of time, because he hunted us throughout the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Wherever we went, he found us, set our car on fire, shot through the window, it's like a movie. Just, it was awful. But then at that point, I ended up moving in with my father. That kind of calmed down and went away. And then I was in high school, and I found the gym, and I started, I guess, the healing process.
Yeah.
In trying to figure out for myself that I was not going to be a product of what I had lived through. I was going to be a product of the future I wanted to create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. That's deep. That's deep stuff, And as a parent, you just focus on today, right? Yesterday doesn't matter.
That's right.
It matters,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. You got to focus on, today and tomorrow.
Absolutely. I hinted at it, and that it shaped how I am as a father. As a young father, there were some things that I did that I think really did shape my children. I never raised my voice. I think it's probably clear why I don't. When they were little, I always got down on a knee when I talked to them, whether it was a happy conversation or explaining something. I didn't ever want them to feel like I was dominating them. And you can take a psychologist and they can say, well, you're doing this because I don't care.
Yeah.
I was doing it because I didn't want my kids to feel a certain way. And so it shaped, well, let's say it this way. The worst, someone asked me recently, who had the biggest impact in your life? And I thought about it. And the truth of the matter is the person that did the most horrific things to me in my life created the version of me that I'm most proud of. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's worked for you, man. It fueled your fire, man.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I appreciate you coming by today, man. Derik, good talking.
Yeah. Did we talk about anything?
I don't think we did, did we?
I don't think so
And
either.
we didn't actually have a beer today. We should have, maybe next time.
Yeah, I think absolutely next time.
What is the drink of choice, by the way?
Belvedere soda.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Low calories.
Yeah.
If I drink the dark stuff, I feel a little icky the next morning.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I like Bombay Sapphire gin.
Sure.
I think gin's going to be the next bourbon. I think it's going to make a comeback.
Ooh.
We'll see.
I feel like I'm drinking a Christmas tree every time I have gin.
I know. Well, sometimes they even bring back old memories, too.
It does. Well, in college for the extended period of 60 days, whenever it was like dry February or dry, whatever it was, everyone would drink gin because it was dry gin.
Yeah.
See, so.
That's right, yeah. Rumplemints, I think of drinking a Christmas tree. Rumplemints is one of the worst liquors.
Yes, I think I had that once and then never revisited.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal. I had a bad night on that. But yeah, gin and tonic. And,
gin and tonic is good. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah, so next time we'll have to go out and do that. But, give the audience some words from the wise from Derik Fay.
Ooh, how about putting me on the spot?
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I think the largest contributor to my success in life, whether we think that's big, small, or whatever, indifferent, I have two traits. I have relentless internal dialogue, which means I am constantly and relentlessly talking to myself in a way that, you could even classify as schizophrenic. Like I have an internal dialogue that has created what you see today. And I don't think people I don't think people talk to themselves enough. Like, yeah, okay, maybe I should do this or not. I have actual conversations. I call it I have these two voices that I call the cheerleader and the challenger, right? And so the cheerleader is the one that allows me the moment of satisfaction. I did the deal. I feel good about it, which is an important process.
Yeah.
Then I have the challenger that says, you can do more. Like I have these voices that are battling, and they work in synergy and have made me very successful in life. And then I think radical accountability. It's such a missing piece in life. James is probably chuckling because I'm going to write a book entitled Radical Accountability for no other reason than I think it can change lives. This concept that we are caught up in this tornado with life and things fly by us and we're in the wind and we accidentally end up where we are and things happen it's all nonsense. Radical accountability is taking accountability for where you are. Like in 2019, I came to this point in life where I had a bunch of money. I'd sold my largest company. It's COVID. I'm by myself. I just got a divorce. I feel awful. I absolutely hate my life. I have everything I should have, and I hate my life.
Yeah.
And I can sit there and I can blame my partner and I can blame this and I can blame that. And I sat there and I thought, where I am today is a result of every single decision that I have made. And although whether that's technically true or not, or if it's bits and pieces of truth, taking accountability, looking in the mirror and saying, I have created the life that I'm living, gives you a power that gives you the power that you can now either change or keep the trajectory that you're on. And I guess it's a little bit of stoicism in there as well. But anyway, so relentless internal dialogue and relentless accountability will change your life in ways that I don't think anybody could ever understand.
I love that. I'll buy the book, by the way.
There you go.
Have you started writing the book?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah. Yep.
How's that going?
It's cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have somebody helping you to navigate through the book?
No, James keeps telling me I'm supposed to, but I don't like that. Listen, if you read it and there's grammatical errors, it's my bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be called conversational writing. But I want to get it out. I feel like there's value. I'm not going to build anything around it. I just want to get something out there that allows people to understand that you can take full control of your life, no matter good, bad, or indifferent, and create the life of your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in the process of writing a book myself.
Yeah, you have a title? Working title?
I'm working on it. So I got a couple ideas, but one of them is be the best, unlock the best you in life and business.
Perfect.
So I'm trying to unlock the best me on
love
paper. But it's funny because when you're doing this, the voice memos and all the notes you take and stuff, it's all of a sudden one page of notes become a lot of pages.
Agreed.
And then a lot of voice memos, and now it's just kind of organizing it to to put it in on paper. But
well, good. Well, I will also read that.
Yeah,
I don't read many books.
We'll trade books.
Done.
Maybe we'll be famous authors together. Who knows?
There you go.
But you said something during the words from the wise, and that was about talking to yourself a little bit. Like, for example, you're a leader. People like to follow you. You have a lot of great posts you do, a lot of great stories. You're a mentor to a lot of people. And being a mentor, a lot of times mentors, they carry weight, right? Because they feel like they can't talk about it. Yeah. But I think talking to yourself and saying, like, I coach people all day on being the best you, and I'm complaining because of this. Like, I need to take my own advice.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a big deal,
It is a big deal.
Talking to yourself and saying, hey, we got this, man.
Yeah, I mean, life, business, success, it's not hard, but it's not easy. What does that mean? It's not hard because all you have to do is look in the mirror and accept what's looking back.
Yeah.
It's not easy because you have to accept what's looking back. And that sounds super simple and super similar, but it really isn't. Like, how often does anybody actually sit in themselves and evaluate, am I proud of how I'm acting?
Yeah.
In that situation, in that deal, as a father, and instantly if the answer is no, but then we brush by. Oh, we justify it to ourselves. Instead of saying, Jesus, my first response was no. What do I need to change?
Yeah.
Like, just that small mechanism changes everything so dramatically. Yeah. And it's icky and it's hard because you're telling yourself that you've let yourself down, or potentially your loved ones or your employees. But you can keep doing it, or you can change it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great name for a book, by the way. And that's a lot of the world today. It's like you got to be accountable for what you're doing. Yep. You did it. Now you got to take care of that, right? Be a good human. Have no ego, right? And don't blame everybody else. Just do what you got to do. You know. Right. And I think the final thoughts from today are, I got a guy sitting here, a great guy, by the way.
Feel the same way.
New friend.
Agreed.
If you need a fourth, let me know. We'll get out and play golf.
Okay. Well, we'll probably skip the golf course, but.
but I really was intrigued with Derik because, Derik is a successful guy. Most people, I look at his followers, man, I'd love to have half of the followers you have. So I think it's awesome. But I'm enjoying where I'm at now. Because a year ago when I started doing it, I was getting nothing. Now it's growing. The show is actually growing pretty good too. Good. Which I love that. But, this show is all about developing new friendships, which we have today. Agreed. And a successful guy with a great career and kids. Success 20 years ago is a different meaning than it is today. For sure. And that's why I want to sit down with you and just talk.
For some of us, it's different. Talk. For some of it's exactly the same. Yeah,
that's right.
And I, not to go too far off a tangent, but I was really raised by an old school Marine who dropped out of school in 4th grade. And so by all accounts, not the wisest man, not the smartest man you'd ever meet, but one of the wisest men, and had such a profound impact on me in life of how you should act, how you should treat women, how you should treat strangers. I just want to make sure I said that because he has such a huge role in my life.
Yeah. That's great. You got to have those. And, my dad, my mom. Yeah. A tight family. Matter of fact, there was a point earlier I was going to tell you, when you ask your kids something, they say something that surprises you. You go, I guess they're listening. Yeah. About 6 months ago, my son Joey we had a restaurant, and I said, always remember people's names. Mm-hmm. That's a good trait. Sure. When people say, I'm bad with names, okay, well, let's get good with names, right? Let's think of something in our mind. Yeah. That's Derik. You have to say it a few times. So he says to me, hey, Dad, what's the waitress's name? Because I told him that years ago. Yeah. And I looked at him and I go, buddy, that a boy. You were listening. Even though I think you weren't listening, you were.
Yeah. That goes good and bad, right? So be careful what you say.
Yeah. But Derik's an inspirational guy. And, you got to check his social media out. And Derik, explain where they can find you, information about you.
Yeah, there's too much about me. Well, I'm on every platform. It's just at Derik Fay.
Yeah.
As we talked about, there's nothing there but value, and I hope some words of wisdoms that'll potentially take you on a path if that's what you're looking for. I always clam up at the end of podcasts. Like, well, what do you have to pitch, or what do you have to sell? Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm out here. I'm always looking. I am a businessman. I'm always looking for entrepreneurs or businesses that I can get involved with. But that's only a fraction of why we're doing this social media thing. Like, how much do we even talk about in business?
That's right.
And these are my favorite podcasts. Not to say I discount the ones where it's, we're pounding financial data, but it's not really what sets me on fire.
Yeah. It's human interaction, right?
That's it.
It's funny because
the best deals come from stuff like this.
I know, man. And that's funny because maybe I turn this into like a little bar setting, a couple bar stools.
Well, now
we're talking. Now we're talking.
Drinks with Derik.
I love it. But Derik, man, you're a good guy, and I really appreciate you coming today. And hope you guys enjoyed the show. Would love your feedback. Again, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere that has podcasts, you can find me. Also to joepavichpodcast.com. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Above and Beyond Painting and First Source Title. And made a new friend today, man.
Oh, man. Pleasure.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.